Hey everyone, ArdrethShadow here, and welcome to Doki Doki Forlorn Heart, Chapter 2, Nightmare. So if you remember previously, and major spoilers here in case for whatever reason you did not play Chapter 1 and are going through Chapter 2 without it, we learned that MC was in a coma after trying to save a little boy in the way of a bus. All the while kind of locked in a purgatory. And now we're going to see what's happening with Akane. So, Doki Doki Forlorn Heart Chapter 2 Nightmare is a Doki Doki Literature Club mod that is not affiliated in any way with Team Salvato. And it's designed to be played after the official game, and then you need the files. Get them from here, not here, unless you want to make things harder, and by agreeing, you accept all the spoilers related to not only this game, but technically Chapter 1 as well. And with that, let us agree to the fish thing. I made that. Alright, and here we are. As you can tell, things are not looking as upbeat. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get started. And I guess for anyone confused, that was meant to be a continuation of the song that she was singing in Chapter 1. Looks like we didn't italicize that. Anyhow.
Oh. Why, hello there, players. You startled me. Again. When the moon rises in the sky, a night full of drama, passion, and the bizarre often waits for you. Good evening and welcome to the show. I'm the Mistress of Forlorn, Akane Kotobuki, also known as the Black Rose. I'm here on behalf of the gentlemen of Team Trader since they aren't able to greet you themselves. I'll be your guide for the night ahead of us of twists, turns, and love. So players, welcome back to Forlorn Heart. I'm so glad you've decided to rejoin us.
Unless, like I said, for whatever reason, you chose not to play Chapter 1 and are just jumping into this completely blind.
When we last left off, we met a young man who was trying to confess his love to the apple of his eye, only for her to reject him in as many ways possible. As it turned out, he was trapped in some dream world created from denial and the fear he had of rejection. This was because he ended up in the hospital after a terrible accident left him in a coma. The only things keeping him tethered to this world were his hopes to be with her, and Akane's wish. Amy, one of his classmates, revealed it was the evil Tarankos who wanted to claim his soul. It was then that Articus, the brother of the wicked Tarankos, stepped forward with his own plan to help the star-crossed lovers triumph over this evil spell. Going back to the question I asked before, players, do you believe in love? Tarankos seemed to underestimate the power of love before. Now that his sister, Zoretha, has stepped onto the playing field, can Akane and Daniel truly break free? That's what we aim to find out. Anyway, why don't we get on with the show? I bet you're all just dying to see what's in store for you all. I'll catch you later, my forlorn hearts.
I guess for anyone who was familiar with the birthday mod for Akane, this sequence might seem kind of familiar, But anyhow, my name is Akane Kotobuki, Scorpio, high school student.
Time for another day of high school. Yay.
It kind of took me a while to get going this morning. For some reason, I had this weird dream last night. It involved me sitting there in my homeroom class when the guy I have a crush on confessed to liking me. But instead of accepting his feelings, I just reject him instead. Why, though? My heart would pound out of my chest if that really happened.
Too bad I don't know what dreams mean. What I wouldn't give to have him actually walk up to me and tell me that he likes me the way I like him.
I go over to my mirror one last time for a final look over.
Hey, it's you. You look good.
Alright, I'd better head downstairs. My cakes will burn. And the song that we have playing right here is actually what we have designated for Akane's personal character theme, which was made by Rod Music Group last year, I believe. Yeah, it was about last year. So, specifically, we had this made just for her.
Lady, are you here? Hello?
Most kids call their parents mom or dad or something like that. Well, my relationship with my own mother isn't like most kids out there. I don't see her as my mom, so I just call her Lady instead. It doesn't seem to bother her, but I wouldn't care even if it did.
Huh. Must be sleeping off another hangover with whoever she's dating this time. Better for me. It's more peaceful this way.
Dad says I act more mature than she does, and I'm barely half her age. I only live with her since my dad does a lot of traveling for his job. He was worried his job wouldn't allow him to look after me, so I ended up living here until I finished school. Not that I'm better off here or anything, but he told me he'd have peace of mind this way. As much as I hated it, I agreed. If things were different, though, I'd move out of here and live with him in a heartbeat. Breakfast isn't anything special. Just some cereal and a banana in the morning, that's all. As I'm eating, my mind wanders to thoughts of school. Yeah, I'm sort of not exactly looking forward to it much. Not so much because of the actual work and learning, but more so because I have to deal with them, who we will learn about in a short while. I don't even know why I'm their number one target on their... I don't even know why I'm number one on their list of targets.
Just a little bit longer and you can graduate. You can do this.
I'm still having trouble getting that dream out of my mind. I know it sounds ridiculous, but considering how nervous I've been about asking him out, maybe that's why? I wondered if I'd be a good girlfriend to him, and if he'll even like me. I don't even know. At one point in the dream, I told him he'd be happier with someone else, and to just forget about me before running from him. Could this be what that Cascada song meant about running away from love? Specifically, the song Runaway by Cascada.
I know you don't want to be a father, though your love's still undiscovered. I want you to stay, boy, stop running away from love. Tell me, how can it be, boy, you're still a runaway?
I never thought of it that way. I step outside, lock the door behind me, and go on my way to school. Other students are making their daily commute as I look around me. No sign of those two anywhere. I don't know where either of them live, but I want to be careful that I don't run into...
Hey, Akane! Huh! Hey, Monika. You doing okay there? Yeah, I'm fine. Totally fine. What's that look for? You're lucky Kodonoa isn't here, otherwise she'd call you out for being an open book. Oh god, am I that obvious? I'm just saying, Akane. I mean, if you don't feel ready, I'm not going to force anything out of you. Still though, remember we're here for you. Whatever the case, you can talk to me or any of us about anything. Yeah, I know. Thank you. So, what's got you feeling this way? Is it your mom again? No. I know it sounds mean, but I couldn't care less about her. No, it's understandable. Alright, if it's not your mom, then...
Monika gets a sly look in her eyes as she gives me a mischievous grin.
You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward?
No. No.
Are you thinking...
Okay. Here's an imitation of me imitating Monika imitating SpongeBob. Yes.
Are you thinking about him again? Hey!
I feel my face get warm as I turn away from her. She gives me a laugh as she puts a hand on my shoulder.
I'm just teasing you, that's all. Monika, you know what that does to me. But, well, I mean...
I know who she's talking about, of course. She doesn't even have to say his name. Daniel has been on my mind ever since I met him at the start of the school year. I don't know what possessed me to do it, but when I saw him alone reading a manga I liked, I just went up and talked to him. Sure, it was awkward at first, but then we started talking about it. I'd say we really hit it off.
I know. I'm sorry about that. I was hoping I'd lighten the mood, but I guess I overdid it, huh?
I only started going to this school after my parents got divorced and my mom chose to relocate us to her hometown. I felt so out of place here when I first started, but I was lucky when I met Monika and Kodonoa. I couldn't join either of their clubs thanks to my part-time job, but I'd often pass by just to scope things out.
I mean, if you are thinking about you-know-who, then I'm sure you know what you've got to do, right? It might not feel like it, but time really flies by and you never realize it until it's too late.
Yep. You might think you have all the time in the world, but let me tell you, once you leave high school, it hits you like a frickin' truck. Kodonoa is the she is the music of the president club, yes. No. Kodonoa is the president of the music club while Monika leads the literature club. The music club is very fun and all 5 girls seem very spirited, but it's just not for me. And unfortunately, we only have 2 of the 5 girls at our disposal, so... The other 3 just exist as concept art and character notes, but that's it. And even though I'm a huge fan of music, I think the literature club would have been more my speed. I'm not proud of my days as a fanfiction writer on BT Power, but hey, I think it'd still be fun. And, well, for those who don't know, I know I said it kind of in the original playthrough of Chapter 1 and the director's cut. Akane takes a bit from both me and the girl that inspired her, Darlene. This is, I guess, a bit of a callback to how I started out as just a fanfiction writer. So, there you have that.
Akane, are you okay?
I wouldn't dare show anybody those cringy old fanfics, but at least I could connect with people that like reading and writing. And thankfully, the website, or specifically the forums that held most of my old fanfics is... well, it's still running, but like ages ago, the server got like they lost everything, so no one will ever know. Not to mention, that's where I get to see him.
Akane, hello.
What am I even talking about? Bungee jumping. No. It was easy to talk to him back then when we first met, so why am I having a hard time now? It doesn't make sense.
You know we'll be graduating this year, right? Huh? Were you listening to me? Oh, sorry. I guess I spaced out a little back there. I'm just saying because soon we'll be ready to graduate and you haven't made a move on him yet. After that, there's no telling if you'll get to see him again, Akane. I know. It's just... why do relationships have to be so hard? Tell me about it. At least you technically have more free time than I do. Even with my part-time job? At least that doesn't eat away at whatever free time you've got like all my extracurricular stuff does. Oh, right. Yeah, I don't think I'd even be able to dedicate myself to a relationship properly. Going back to you for a moment, though. I'm not trying to pressure you, but if you want to ask him out, you can't let the opportunity pass you by. Well, yeah, but... how do you even know he's gonna go for... or how do I even know he's gonna go for me? Would he even like me?
Monika looks like she wants to say something, but suddenly pauses and stops herself.
You'll never know unless you try. After all, it's better to take that chance than not and spend the rest of your life wishing you did, right? I know you're right, Monika. I just don't know why I can't go through with it, or I just don't know why I can't go through with it. Are you sure you don't want me to at least put in a good word for you? I do get to see him every club meeting, after all. I can tell him that you just want to talk to him in private for a moment, and it's really important. That way you're not so nervous and it's just between the two of you. Or it's just between the both of you. No. I can't be relying on you or anyone else to come to my rescue all the time. Thank you, though, Monika. This is something I feel like I need to do myself. If I can't even go confess to a guy I like, then I'm never going to get better at taking risks, aren't I? Well, you've got me there. I just feel like you're overthinking it, Akane. I can tell you right now that Daniel isn't the kind of guy who'd want to hurt your feelings. Unlike a lot of guys in our school, he's very kind, considerate, and down-to-earth. Yeah, he sure is. Don't space out on me just yet, Akane. What? No, I just... Oh. The point I'm trying to make here is that he's not going to make you feel bad. Daniel's a really great guy who's willing to listen to you and consider your feelings. Not going to lie, but it almost sounds like you want to date him.
Face.
What? Oh, come on, Akane. You know I don't see him that way. Besides, a part of me feels like you two would be perfect together.
Which, if you remember Chapter 1, her and Koda know more than just feel like they would be good together.
And as an advocate of love, I'd never want to interfere with your chances of being with him. I know you're freaking out about it now, but it's not going to be as bad as you think. Just think of it like when you usually talk to him. But I'm either with you or someone else when I talk to him. When I'm not, I just freeze and my mind blanks. That's what makes it so awkward. I'm just afraid I'm going to say the wrong thing, and he won't want to talk to awkward Akane ever again. It wouldn't be the first time. Come on, Akane. Don't say that. Give yourself some credit. If you go in there with that sort of mindset, then you're more likely to trip over yourself. If only I could just get out of that mindset. Honestly, I wish I knew what to tell you there. I have a lot of tips on public speaking I can share if you'd like. Even if it's not in front of a ton of people, it might as well be. Alright, I'll think about it.
There's a short pause as we hear an ambulance up ahead. We take a few steps back as it speeds right past us.
I don't think I've seen an ambulance out this early before. Something must have just happened.
For some reason, I find myself staring at that ambulance for a while. Something just doesn't feel right to me.
Akane? Huh? You okay there? You were sort of spacing out again. Yeah, I'm alright now. For some reason, that ambulance just caught me off guard. I mean, considering how we don't really see them out ever this early, it caught me off guard too. Well, maybe, but never mind.
I don't know how to explain what I was feeling to her without sounding crazy. For some reason, that ambulance was giving me some bad vibes. I don't know why, though. It's not like it has anything to do with me, right? The rest of our walk continued with nothing else of relative importance happening whatsoever. Once we're past the school gates, Monika and I said our goodbyes and we go over to our lockers.
You can do this, Akane.
As I open up my locker, an envelope falls out and flutters to the ground. The heck?
What's this?
I picked it up, held it to my chest, and turned around to face my locker. I already have 2 girls that spend their free time bullying me, so I don't need anyone else getting any funny ideas either. I look in my locker and notice a second envelope.
What is this? Some kind of joke? Probably, you know. When did you...
Clutching the letter, my heart practically stops as I turn around. Momoko Takahama. Of course, it's her.
I mean, who'd really pay attention to you when you're so, homely? Oh, come on, Momo P. Lighten up a little.
Well, fuck my life. Destiny Tenjoen is here to bless me with her presence as well. Why am I not surprised, though? Those 2 are almost always together whenever I see them.
Besides, it's not her fault.
It's not her fault that ArdrethShadow stumbling on his words.
Besides, it's not her fault she's such a nerdy little dweeb. Do you have any idea how hard it must be for her to even make friends?
Burn! I roll my eyes at them as I'm about to turn back around. Momoko stops me as she leans up against the locker next to mine.
Yeah, I hate to break it to you, but let's face it. You're not very pretty and you're not very bright. About all you have going on for you is what you've got going on in the right places, Aside from that brainless idiot Joichiro, I doubt any of the guys here know you're alive. Of course, we all know that man whore will hit on anything living, or any living female with a pulse. Okay by me. Oh, did I hit a nerve back there? Too bad. So sad. Come on, Desi. Let's get out of here. I can already feel those loser genes rubbing off on me. Oh no, we can't have that now. Now can we? We can't have that, now can we? After all, we need to look our best for volleyball practice later. Well, it's been fun shooting the breeze with you, little Torbet, but we've got to get going. Don't stress out over that letter too much. Don't stress out over that letter too much. Stress leads to age lines, right? It's probably Joichiro getting desperate again. Maybe if you're lucky, he'll set his standards low enough to make you his new girlfriend. You know? Oh, come on, Momo P. Don't get her hopes up like that.
They walk away, laughing to themselves as I turn back and... well, turn back and to face my open locker. Oh, okay. Turn back and to face my open locker. And face my open locker? Well, like I said, we try. But even then, sometimes little things like that slip through the cracks. They're always like this to me. Compared to how they usually are, though, this is pretty tame. Whatever. They're just full of themselves, that's all. It's nothing to get worked up about. Even though I've had to put up with them for almost a whole year now. Ever since I transferred to Nagahana High School, actually. This is my final year in high school, though. We're so close to graduating. I won't have to hear from Bitch 1 and Bitch 2 ever again after that. Of course, though, that also means I might not get to see... Slam! Talk to me, Akane. You've been blowing me off a lot lately. Come on, don't be that way. After all, I'm just another link in that daisy chain of yours.
Joichiro, how long did it take you to come up with that one? You must have been up all night knowing you.
Ouch, that hurts.
Besides, I don't even wear a daisy chain around my neck.
I've got a necklace my dad got me, but he doesn't have to know about that. I swear, though, he won't take a hint. Joichiro just swaggered over and slammed his arm up against the wall to block me off. Yet another idiot I have to deal with, or yet another idiot to deal with. Luckily, he's got the IQ of a peanut, so I can handle him pretty easily. I sidestep him and continue walking. To the surprise of absolutely nobody, he rushes back over to me. So, Akane...
So, Joichiro...
I just want to put you on notice that I noticed you noticing me. So I thought I'd put you on notice that I noticed you too.
Duly noted and ignored.
Duly noted and ignored.
Come on, you don't even know what I'm going to say. Actually, yeah, I do. It'll be the same stupid pickup lines, followed by some lame attempt at asking me out. However, I decide to just humor him, turning back around to face him and see where this goes.
Alright, then say something.
I was just thinking about this nice place that sells coffee around here that opened up recently. Why don't you and I get together and spend some time to get to know each other a little more? Translation. Listen to him go on and on about how great he is, and why I should be his new arm candy. Yeah, no thanks.
Oh, how nice of you to ask, Joichiro. Thanks for the offer, but I'd rather jam 2 big ice picks in both my ears.
I turn on my heel and continue walking to class. Honestly, you'd think he'd get the picture that I'm not interested in him. Yeah, he's obviously not too happy about that. As I'm about to pass by, I'm once again blocked off by Joichiro's arm. Oh, come on.
What is it now, Joichiro? I don't have time for this. I'm trying to get to class here.
Come on, what's your problem?
Problem? I don't have a problem. Ever consider that you might be the one with a problem?
Why won't you go out with me?
How many times do we have to go through this? I'm not interested. End of story.
Well, why not?
Almost any girl at this school would love to be my girl. Right. What about Monika? Well, she's too smart to fall for your lame pickup lines. I figured. Did you try asking Koda?
Well, I tried, but then she
Called you out for being a notorious flirt? I bet. Or what about Dusty and Momoko?
Hey, you know they're bitches to everyone except each other. As I move his arm out of the way, he gives me a pleading look. Jeez, get a grip already. What is it then?
Come on, it's not like you're seeing anyone right now. So why don't you... There's somebody else!
I think I surprised the both of us with that. I don't know why I even blurted that out. I think a few other students look around at us. Great, just what I wanted. An audience.
There's somebody else I'm interested in. Now buzz off already. You're going to make me late.
I turn around and keep moving forward, not even paying attention to some of the side glances I'm getting. I can hear Jorichiro angrily punch the wall from behind me as I continue to my first class. Come on. I just want this to be a calm, regular day. Is that too much to ask for? The universe seems to think so. Finally, I made it without anything else getting in the way. I'll worry about that random envelope I found in my locker later. Right now I just need to... Wait, why are there people crowded around my desk? I end up having to push my way through to see what's going on.
Sorry. I didn't touch it, I swear.
And I guess some useless trivia for you. If Akane did not exist, we probably would be using Mizuki a lot more. I guess you could say this is a bit of a tongue-in-cheek sort of moment where we're poking fun at the fact that in another universe, Mizuki could have been the female lead of this story. But instead now she's just a side character who's in front of Akane's desk, wishing she could be the main protagonist, but can't.
Huh? What are you?
There, smack dab on my desk, is a small box from the Curdy Corner Bakery, accompanied by a sealed envelope.
What the... Alright, settle down, all of you. There's nothing to see here, so go back to your lives now.
Kodonoha asserts herself to the center of everything, shooing people away. A few of them grumble to themselves as they hastily go back over to their own desks.
Thanks, Kodo. Not a problem, Akane. Although I have to say, this isn't your average everyday occurrence, is it? Yeah, no kidding. It's not my birthday or any special holiday as far as I know.
And then she's giving her that same look.
Maybe it's the hopeless romantic in me, but does anyone need an excuse to give someone a gift? Huh? Where did that come from? Oh, nothing. Pay me no mind. Huh? Where did that come from?
As Koda goes over to her desk, I take a seat and look over the envelope. It's already weird that I got one in my locker, but another one? Yeah, and I guess... If you remember, apparently she got two in her locker. So what happened to the first one? I honestly don't know. I must have forgotten about that. And unfortunately, considering this mod was delayed for a little over a year, and how some of this was written out, like shortly after Chapter 1, I guess you could say that I kind of forgot some certain things, so I don't know what I might have been planning with that other envelope. So, I guess all I can say is, let's just pretend that Akane just maybe she just left it behind, or she didn't even bother with it. Just like, it's nothing important, basically. What's the deal here? I take the letter from my desk and look over the envelope. From A. Someone must really not want me to know their name. But really though, A? The only other person in our class I know whose name starts with A would be Amy, but I somehow doubt she'd be confessing to me. Even though she did admit that you're one of the most beautiful girls in the entire year or whatever. Even if she was, I don't see her that way. Shots fired! Okay, not shots fired, but I shakily open the letter and notice the handwriting doesn't belong to anyone I know. And here we are. Which, like I said, if you remember the end of chapter 1, then you can probably guess who this letter came from. Akane. I pray this letter and package find you well. My apologies, but at present, I cannot reveal who I am. For now I can tell you that I am a friend, and I mean you no harm. I am writing to you on behalf of young Sakamoto. He has had eyes for you for the longest time, and wanted to do something special for you. And I guess some useless trivia. This paragraph right here caused so many issues with coding. We wanted to have it be like, we're writing to you on behalf of, you know, whatever you name MC. But, coding-wise, that is not possible. And if it is, well, neither of us knew how to do that. So, I ended up basically looking at one of our other projects in which Nightmare Ninja named the MC, or at least gave him the family name of Sakamoto, and I just decided I'm going to go ahead and, just because, I'm going to draw from that, give him the last name Sakamoto. And then I was here like, okay, but now how the heck are we going to do this, because the letter was already given to her at the end of chapter, well, by the end of chapter 1. And it just seems like, well, how are we gonna, you know, work with this if we can't even name or have it so that MC, you know, names himself or whatever. So this was the workaround we came up with. So put in his last name, and then this paragraph, you could say, is kind of part of the reason why the director's cut exists. Because I had no idea this was going to happen, and that I had essentially painted us in a corner. And I guess considering it was going to be a director's cut anyway, I just figured, you know, I had all these other ideas, and I wanted to expand on Akane's story some more, so this is probably the best opportunity to do that. But yeah, it's like this paragraph caused so many issues for us, to the point where we had to re-release chapter 1 with some minor tweaks and some expanded story bits, just to kind of make up for it. So anyway, yeah, in case you didn't know, that yes, unless we're missing something, you cannot have whatever you name the MC featured in a poem. So, yeah. At least, it's a learning experience that we both had. Anyhow, eager to express his earnest feelings for you, he brought back a cake he knew you would love as a gift. Tragedy fell upon him, however, as he made his way to the school. He was taken to the hospital and is currently in a coma after being struck by an oncoming vehicle. I was asked to do this as a favor to him by your classmate Amy. I have written this letter and presented you an exact copy of the cake he so desperately wanted to give you. He left a letter as well, further expressing his feelings prior to the previous day's end. He intended for you to read the letter before he presented you with this gift. I am sorry to be the one to tell you of this news. Your teachers will be made aware of this soon, and break the news to the rest of your classmates. Sakamoto is not gone from this earth, but he is fighting for his life right now. Stay strong and have faith. A shadow named Zoritha threatens to turn you to despair, but do not let her. As Sakamoto asked of me, I will watch over you, but there is only so much I can do. Remember that you are not alone in this fight. Trust in your companions, embrace your dreams, and do not let the spark of hope in your heart go out. Sakamoto and I will be with you. Sincerely, A. I feel a pit in my stomach. This has to be a joke, right? Everything written here has to be some kind of joke. Why would someone write this? Unless they really wanted to screw around with me. Trying to tell me the guy I like is in the hospital? The nerve of them! I want to crumple this thing up and toss it away. And yet, a part of me feels I shouldn't. I go for the other letter and hastily open it. And here it is. So likewise, we wanted to have it be like, sincerely, player's name. But, again, we couldn't do that. Hey Akane, I just wanted to let you know. Oops. Well. Okay, that's what it should have said. I just want to let you know that I really like you. Please, would you consider going out with me? To show you that I'm serious, I want to get you a cake from the bakery you like so much. The Devil's Chocolate Cake, because I know it's your favorite. I'll give this to you before class starts, okay? I'm sorry if this is so sudden, but I wanted to ask you out for a long time. I hope I don't put you on the spot. I also hope I don't scare you away. I'll be waiting for your answer. Oh no. My voice drops to a whisper as I clutch the letter in my hands. Unless someone really went out of their way and did their homework, I don't think this is a prank. I look over to the cake box and open it. Sure enough, there it is. There's the chocolate cake I love eating from that bakery. He really did get this for me. But then, where does this A guy come into the picture? He says he got me a copy of the cake Daniel had with him? My mind is racing. My mind is Dang it. My mind is racing at 90 miles an hour, or 90 miles per hour, when the teacher suddenly comes in. Good morning, students. Alright, settle down, all of you. It's time to take roll. Some of the other students are whispering and stealing some glances at me. I look at the cake Daniel got for me. Or whoever is saying Daniel got it for me. Seriously. I don't like being the center of attention. Akane Kotobuki? Huh? Oh, here. And of course the peanut gallery is eating this up, giggling to themselves as I put both of the letters away in my bag. Roll call continues, and it seems as though everyone is here. Except for two people, that is. Amy and Daniel are nowhere in sight. That's... Oh no. Please don't tell me that thing about Daniel being in the hospital is true. He's almost always on time. Please, Daniel. I just want this to be some stupid prank. I try to hide the cake from everyone. As I try to hide the cake from everyone, there's a knock at the door. The teacher goes over and... Oh goodness. Someone just handed her some sort of written message. From that reaction alone, it isn't anything good. The class became silent once they saw the messenger leave the room. All eyes were on the teacher as she goes up to the front of the class. Miss Kursu, what was that? Class, I just received word that something has happened to one of our students. Daniel. He was hit by an oncoming bus on his way to school. The whole room is in shock at this revelation. All except for me. I feel myself shrink back into my chair. Daniel. No. The letter was right.
What happened? I don't know. His mother called the front office this morning. According to her, he was rushed to the hospital after emergency services were called. Thankfully, he didn't die on impact, but they found him unresponsive.
And yes, keep in mind, as I've said in the past, I'm limited to what kind of female voices I can give to characters, so yes, Miss Kursu, Destiny, Himari, they're gonna sound kind of similar, unfortunately. So he's in a coma. Just like the letter said. I can't help but hold the cake closer to me as the reality starts to sink in. There's a lot of idle chatter going on after the teacher finishes talking and goes to her desk. Not much ever happens in the class anyway, but normally I try using the free time to get schoolwork done, but right now, none of that matters to me. The world melts away as I look at the cake box, holding on to it like it's going to float away. I'm jolted when I feel a hand on my shoulder. I look over to see.
Huh? Kodo? Himari? Hey, Akane. Are you okay? Well...
Am I okay? Am I okay? I'd be lying if I said I was. To them and to myself. I should be happy knowing he feels the same way I do about him, but... how can I?
No, I'm not. I feel like I shouldn't even be here right now.
They exchange some worried glances before Kodonoa sees the cake I'm holding.
That cake. Is it wrong of me to assume that this was meant to be something from Daniel?
How did she... Well, she's not wrong. I nod sadly and look back down at it. He even went as far as to get my favorite cake for me. I don't deserve to have such a thoughtful guy like him in my life. He went that extra mile all so he could confess to me. Kodonoa crouches down next to me.
What was that letter on your desk all about? I don't know if you'd believe me if I told you. Try me.
I let out a sigh as I reach for my bag and take out both letters.
I don't even know what's going on. It might be better if you read these for yourself. Very well.
Kodonoa begins reading the letter from A first. Then she looks over the one from Daniel. Himari puts a hand on my shoulder as she gives me a worried look. When Kodo finishes with the letters, she has this bewildered look on her face.
See? What'd I tell you?
You're right.
And I'm not sure why he'd be reaching out to you directly. Wait, so you know this guy? Well, not quite. I have my suspicions, though. Well, who do you think it is? Someone we know? Now that... you probably wouldn't believe me if I told you. You sure about that? All things considered, this might require a bit of a long talk. A talk between you, me, and Yuri that I'm not exactly looking forward to. Well, alright. The one thing I can tell you, though, is... if it is who I'm thinking of, then you can trust him. I've heard about him from my mom and grandmother.
Oops. Oh, okay, that was the right line. Anyway.
Even then, I'm just operating on what limited information I have about him. But you can trust him. He's nothing like his younger brother that my family grew up being afraid of, that's for sure.
This is one of the few times she's even spoken about her family like this. Maybe that's why she wants to have Yuri weigh in on this as well.
Okay, I just want to make sure this isn't some kind of prank. You read that letter. Everything he said in there about Daniel seems to be right. Meaning everything he said about a shadow trying to turn you to despair doesn't bode well.
Himari looks on, confused but sympathetic as she speaks. Kodono is kind of secretive about certain things regarding her family, so maybe she's as lost as I am. About the only thing we know is that Yuri and Kodono are cousins. Still, Kodo has always been trustworthy, and she'd never steer me wrong on purpose. After all, she was technically the first friend I ever made here.
Of course, this means I'll need to discuss things with Yuri once I have the chance. I know this sounds very frustrating and confusing, but hopefully you'll understand in due time. Okay, I'm just a bundle of nerves right now. More than I usually am. I can only imagine. I'll see if I can talk to Monika and Yuri about this in between classes. I hope you understand. This is some really sensitive stuff we can't go sharing with just anyone. Mio kind of knows to an extent, but even so. I just ask that you keep an open mind about everything and try not to judge us too harshly. Both of you are like some of the nicest people I've ever met. Why would I ever judge you?
Kodono gives me a sad look as she gets up.
If only everyone else thought the same way you did about us.
Before I can say anything, the bell rings.
Okay, let me see if I can speak to either of them right now. I'll be right back, okay?
I nod as she heads out the door. There's at least 10 minutes between classes, so I'm not sure how much she can get done. Himari puts a hand on my shoulder.
He's going to be fine, Akane. You can't go assuming the worst possible outcome right off the bat. Yeah, I know I need to work on that. There's still a lot of detail we're missing anyway. Besides, it sounds like Kodono knows something that might be helpful. In the time you've known her, she hasn't shared anything with you, has she?
I let out a sigh as I released my grip on the cake box a little bit.
You just need to have more faith, that's all. In yourself, in Daniel, and just in general. I know you're right, Himari. Monika pretty much told me something similar. It's just easier said than done. You'll be fine, Akane. You've always got me, Kodonoa, Monika, and all her friends in the literature club as well. Thanks, Himari. There you go.
I owe a lot to Kodonoa. I never would have met Himari or Monika if it wasn't for her befriending me on my first day. Of course, once I met Monika, that was when I was introduced to the literature club. And then I guess for more useless trivia here. In the write-up I have... it's not much of a write-up more than it is just a bunch of character notes, but... For Akane's story, her backstory essentially, she transfers over at the beginning of the school year. It's the final year until she graduates. And she feels out of place, and in some cases she does already have people kind of like picking on her. Kodonoa, she sees this and kind of reaches out to Akane. Reason being, not just because she feels like, in a sense, like somebody needs to stand up for her, but also just because she sees a lot of qualities in Akane that are also present in Yuri. And, at least with the way I write her, Kodonoa as Yuri's cousin, she is somewhat protective of her. Like, while they might be cousins, you could say that Kodonoa sort of acts like a sister, and she's more than ready to like jump in and defend Yuri if she has to. So because she sees like some similarities between Yuri and Akane, that's one of the reasons why she felt like she had to kind of act, and why she felt the need to, in a sense, to quote-unquote take Akane under her wing. So essentially just to kind of try to help her ease into school life a lot easier and make friends. Which was how eventually she was able to not just, meet Kodanoa, but Himari and then Monika and the rest of the literature club. The MC just sort of being kind of an exception in the sense that she met him before the rest of the literature club. So that's how that panned out. I would like to write something like this someday. I guess essentially to give her a mod that's a little more grounded in reality, so not perfect world, just, regular visual novel, sort of. But until that day comes, I just have these sort of character notes and story beats that I have in mind for when that day might eventually come. But yeah, so we just get hints of it here, though. And unfortunately, that's kind of it.
I'll be right back, okay? Yeah, sure.
Okay, and, well, let me see. I think, considering I've been recording for almost an hour, this might actually be a good spot to kind of hold things off. So, we definitely had quite a bit happen here. A lot of character introductions, a lot of, world establishing, but obviously now we're kind of at the point where we're seeing everything that's happening after Chapter 1 ends. After MC is kind of there as a spirit in the classroom as Akane walks in and she reads those letters, and unfortunately he has to leave her as much as he doesn't want to. So yeah, now we're just kind of basically seeing the fallout of that. So next time, we're going to continue, and, well, I'll just say right now, if you aren't a fan of bullying and, well, essentially watching Akane be tormented, that, well, just keep that in mind, because that is something that kind of happens here. And because Akane does take from both me and Darlene, it does sort of borrow from some of the things that we've gone through, her and me, from what she has shared regarding being bullied and whatever. And just as well as some other things that I just took inspiration from elsewhere. But anyway, so thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with what else I do. Later, folks.